Once you bring a player to the caliber of Müller, I mean, everything changes.
Son Heung-min, should he count?
For me, my point of view, I think Messi deserves it.
Gio Savarese is here to preview MLS Decision Day. Let's discuss some of the biggest stories of the season, which is why it is our top topic. Presented by Buchanan's Blended Scotch Whiskey, an official FIFA World Cup 26 supporter. Nos vamos al Mundial with a Bucanita on hand.
This is the top topic.
Gio, let's start with, there's a lot going on, obviously, in the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Let's start with the Western Conference. Vancouver Whitecaps look like they are about to, and they very much have a chance to win the Western Conference. A lot of people are kind of shocked by that. New coach and everything, Thomas Müller. But let's talk about Thomas Müller's impact on the Vancouver Whitecaps, because, I mean, we just saw the other day against Orlando, and I did not believe that he would be able to do this. I didn't think,
absolutely not.
I didn't think he would be this inspirational. Immediately my brain goes to, oh, he's an older player. He's here not necessarily just to like make his money or whatever, but like he's not going to run as hard as some of these younger guys and all this stuff. But not only is he doing that, but he has made every single player on the pitch better. How has he done this?
So I have to say first about Vancouver, I think that from the beginning, we knew that they were going to be competitive because they were competitive previous year. I think they had a good roster, but we didn't know that they were going to be this competitive, to a level that they went to a final of the CONCACAF Champions. I mean, turnovers, different injury players that they had to use other players, and they stay very steady. And once you bring a player to the caliber of Müller, I mean, everything changes. I had a similar experience with Raúl when I brought Raúl into the Cosmos.
Sure.
So, very much I understand.
If you're wondering, by the way, which Raúl, that Raúl, you know the Real Madrid shirt you paid $800 for? That Raúl.
So the impact that he brings, these type of players, when they come in, they're very impactful to the players. Everybody wants to raise the level. They want to, they don't want to disappoint this player, but also they come with such an energy, in wanting to be competitive. They want to win things. And Müller has come in with this, all this in mind, but also this sense of humor that he has as well.
He's so funny.
He's so funny.
He's
in
like
everything
in the
that he
corniest
does.
way possible, but in a fun way. Like
Yes.
he's like
And no one's
dad jokes. It's great.
No one's ever said this about a German person ever. This is crazy.
So he keeps the competition with fun.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's
almost like what we
amazing.
do.
So it's perfect.
Without running, which is my favorite part of it.
But then not only that, but he shows up in the right moments with the goal that he scored against Orlando. It was insanely amazing how he figured out the calmly. It looks like he goes in slow motion to deliver a goal that was a perfect moment for them, and it keeps them in the top of the conference. It was amazing. I guess a very good Orlando team.
Yeah.
So
and they almost got robbed. I mean, the ball that kind of went over the line,
The VAR,
and
I thought it was a goal as well.
I thought it was a goal
but
too.
we cannot say 100% because it's not very clear. And maybe sometimes the referee at that particular
this is the one where the keeper kind of hugs.
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
So but I thought it went in, but for the goal, the referee, maybe they said it's not, or if for sure, it's not clear and obvious, and maybe that's why they made that decision.
Is this maybe, are we seeing a blueprint of how to sort of succeed in MLS? Because I've said this before, and I know this gets some people upset, but this is what I truly believe. The first 10 matches in an MLS season are basically a preseason. They don't matter because all you have to do is get into the playoffs. And I know you'll say as a coach, oh, but if those 3 points you lose, blah, blah, blah. Right, of course. You have to say that.
Right.
But the truth is the beginning of the season maybe isn't the most important. It's not like you have a balanced schedule, right? Where you have to win the game away. You have to win the game at home. You may see this team 2 more times, 3 more times.
Right. I wouldn't say that it doesn't matter at the beginning. I will say if you find it the right moment at the beginning to be able to be successful is better. But sometimes when you don't start well, you have the opportunity to be able to pick up. The important thing is to get momentum
into the
right
playoffs.
before the playoffs.
So bringing in a superstar like a Son Heung-min or Thomas Müller, middle of the season, where suddenly it's a shock. Everything you've learned about this team, you have to rethink how you're going to defend against LAFC. You have to rethink how you're going to defend against Vancouver because now you have the superstar that makes everyone around them better. Is this now the blueprint to win? Why bring these old guys in early and make them run around in the summer?
Because also not all these guys are the same, and they're not all bring you the same opportunity to be able to
Right.
make your team better. You have to find the right ones, the ones that come in with the right inspiration, with the right tactical ability to be able to adapt quickly into the team, that they get the respect right away by all the players. So it's not for everyone. I just think that LAFC, Vancouver, and of course Inter Miami found the perfect players
Who they have
to
there?
be able to be able to have an experienced player coming in, but one player that is going to make your team a better team and it's going to make you compete. And that's why I think that those three teams should be the ones that you think are going to win MLS Cup this year.
Same. Yeah. That's what it got me feel. It's like you have to build momentum into the playoffs. That's almost more important than, trying too hard to win all those games in the really hottest months of the summer.
I think it's a nuanced conversation because Alexis even saying like and you saying like it's important to build that momentum before the playoffs. What's the most important thing in the season? Obviously, is it strictly to win MLS Cup? That is the most important. Is it also important to win the Supporter Shield?
I think we know the answer.
If you're close to it, do you try to get it? Do you?
I think if you talk to the owners, they will tell you MLS Cup is the most important thing that we need to win.
Okay.
I think that is the thing that everybody wants. Once you start a season, this is where we want to be, and we want to be, winners of MLS Cup. Then you have the other competitions, of course, but I think there's a bigger, push or mindset from the ownership to say, this is the priority. This is the most important thing. And then Conca Champion and those that are in the Club World Cup and and I think you want to be competitive, but you have to prioritize as well. And I think that priority is usually MLS Cup.
Yeah, that's the big one.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, from now on, I'm calling it Conca Champion because it just rolls so much better.
It does.
It makes me want to dance, Why do I got to say the calf? You know what I mean?
San Diego. I mean, speaking of a shocking team, an expansion
Who
team.
would have known?
I mean, we would have all been if they got the wooden spoon, we'd been like, okay, yeah. Who could be mad? I mean, it's like that's how it happens. It's an expansion team. They have been fantastic. Anders Dreyer is, in the debate as for MVP.
MVP
So
for sure.
It is the fact that we were talking about this beforehand. San Diego being able to do this and possibly also win the Western Conference on decision day. Is it because expansion teams don't have to deal with the same exact regulations as far as like finance and issue? It's a new team, so they obviously get the advantage of like you don't have to be hamstrung by some of the financial roster rules and stuff like that. You have get whoever you can get, field the team and do your best. Is it less impressive that they are this good, or is it should we still continue to be like, this is absolutely remarkable that this expansion team did this?
The first thing I will say is that whoever says that they predicted this to happen is a liar.
Of course.
So I will say that first.
Even if Mikey Vera said that, I wouldn't believe him. You know what I mean? I'm like, sure you did.
Exactly. But we have to give them a lot of credit for what they have created. I think sometimes, what you say, yes, you have the opportunity to build a team, but I do think it's more difficult than that. I just think that what they have done and a lot of the things that they got right are not easy to get it right. You have to give them a lot of credit, for the coach that came in, the style of play, the players that they brought in, just everything around the team, the marketing, the fans that have come in. Yeah. We have to give a lot of credit to the whole organization, to the players, to the coaching staff. It's not easy to achieve what they have achieved. So it's amazing. They broke a record. That wasn't easy to be able to break because San Luis done a great job 3 years ago to be able to, put themselves in a better situation. And San Diego's done everything right. And if they're able to win the conference, it's even, more impressive. My question is going to be how they're going to, do in the playoff, how they're going to come in. Do they have enough? Yeah, because Dreyer is a great player. He's phenomenal. He should be in the conversation for MVP this year. I do think he's going to be newcomer of the year at the end. I think he's definitely the one that's going to win it.
Tough to be Messi for MVP.
It's just tough to beat
Yeah.
Messi.
When you see his name there, you're like, I just want to
it's just very difficult.
Yeah, maybe he'll call me for the first time. You never know.
But, a lot of credit. And it's not only him. There's so many good players all around. And the style of play that they've been able to use from the beginning that, installed from the coach to the players, it was clear. And I think the players are enjoying playing for the club.
San Diego's having an incredible first season. And if you want us to have an incredible season, click on that like button. It tells YouTube to share this with everyone. What are you doing? Yeah, I'm talking to you. I know you're wiping, but click the like button. Let's talk about, speaking of playoffs, we got a couple teams vying to get in the playoffs on the West Coast. It looks like there's 2 spots left: FC Dallas, Real Salt Lake, Colorado Rapids, and San Jose Earthquakes. If you had to guess, who do you think is in better position to get into the playoffs to pick up those last 2 spots?
I will have to say Dallas first because they're a little bit higher on, I think they have all the opportunity to be able to win. I think Real Salt Lake also should be one, but they're going to San Luis. It's no easy game.
Tough.
They've been in the last 5 games, only lost 1 game, San Luis. So it's going to be a very difficult match for Salt Lake. So I think, it's complicated. The Colorado is a team that, just can slit with inside with Chris Armas, figuring out this next game. And then Bruce, who can say, that Bruce is not going to find a way to be able to get. So I think out of the 4 teams, it's going to be complicated to predict. If I have to say, who I think is definitely Dallas, and it would be between, those other 3 to be able to get that last spot
Sure.
on the playoff.
Makes sense.
I want to move over to the Eastern Conference because one of my favorite moments, especially recently, after Philadelphia Union won the Supporters Shield, your coworker, our friend Michele Giannone, was talking to Bradley Carnell after the game and asked him, with everything that happened in St. Louis, how do you feel not winning Supporters Shield? He didn't even want to talk about it. He's like, he immediately walked away. It was kind of like, some fan bases were like, oh, I get it. Some fan bases
That's like asking about your ex at your wedding day. We didn't invite him on purpose.
But that was
confetti's still in the air. Why are we talking about this?
I had told Michaela, I'm like, man, you set him up to be like, I'm about to dunk on my ex, right?
Yeah.
He did not take the opportunity. If I understand the politeness of it, but I do think, I think there is something he could have puffed his chest out a little bit, and I think people would have understood. How did you feel about it?
It's always difficult, I mean, for everybody that works in, the communications and it's on the TV and you're doing interviews. I think you always have, I hope you always have the right mindset to want to do and to put out there the right things.
Yeah.
Maybe Michele at that particular moment thought about a question that maybe ended up being, delivering the right way, maybe. But I just think that everybody should be able always to be in a good mindset. I think at that particular moment, of course, I understand that, it's Philadelphia moment. In Philadelphia,
Sure.
And what he's done is amazing because he came in and the team played very well. They impressed. They were intense the entire season. So it's one of those things that is complicated to be able to understand.
Sure.
It's tough too, because you leave. Jim Curtin had this aura about him in Philly.
Of course.
So be able to, the way he did leave St. Louis I think he was kind of blamed for his style of play not being the best to have during the playoffs, to sort of not built to survive a playoff. So for him to go there and absolutely show that, okay, maybe we don't have the biggest names in the world in Philly, and maybe people thought I only had one style of play and I can make this work to win the Supporter Shield is huge. So I would have taken that moment to be like, told you so.
Yeah, what now?
Maybe it wasn't my bad.
No, but also he's very humble.
Yeah.
And I think
How do we get that out of the game?
How do we? It's really kind of ruining what we got.
How do we draw that out?
I commend like he did well because he kept it to Philadelphia. He looked, like who he is. He was real in that moment. He's very humble. I think he's done a phenomenal job. He tweaked some things. I think the mentality of the team was the same because it's still all in a Red Bull way, the way they played before, because before was a diamond. This was a 4-2-2-2. I think the amount of details he put into the team was very important. Bradley has done a great job. And I think the organization picked the right coach for, the type of team that they want to be.
Is the Supporter Shield, is it silverware or is it a trophy?
That's a very good question.
Semantics.
I will say it's a trophy. It's a trophy. I call trophy. People could be different. For me, everything is a trophy. It's a win. It's something that you want to win. If it comes in a plate, if it comes in a trophy, if
Yeah,
it comes
yeah.
in an envelope,
Right.
it is a
Yeah,
win. It's
yeah.
a trophy, something that will remain in history.
Right. And let everyone know, Cooligans accept trophies and envelopes. In case you're wondering.
Big fan of those.
Huge. We will accept. Because there is the conversation, right? Like, if you're a coach and you're about to win your supporter shield, how do you keep some inspirational? How do you not burn out? How do you not empty the gas tank on getting the guys to try to win that? Or the ladies, if you're coaching in a women's league. How do you get the players to sort of hold on to a little bit so that they have something else to root for or to shoot for, not gas themselves out in a playoff?
That's a great question, because I think the first thing that you need to do is the moment that you win, that you have to understand that you have to enjoy it. You have to, celebrate, but it has to be with the right amount of celebration. Being very careful that everybody is on the same message, that this is only one part of what we wanted to achieve, but there's more to achieve in what is coming. And if you do it the right way and you install that in the mind of the players to be ready for what is coming, then I think you're done your job. And I think Philadelphia has that mindset. If you're going to talk about one of the teams that is been through the past few years, strong mentally, it's all about intensity, work hard, young players. It's not about the stars, it's about the team. I think they've done a very good job. And I think, for them, they're going to continue to be competitive. It might happen to another team, and it might be a difficult, situation to make them understand not only the supporter shield, if you win your conference, your trophy, and get into the final, all those things, or if you win or you in the final the previous year, is how you're going to build the following year. Because sometimes, players tend to lose themselves into the winning and not thinking about what is coming next.
And it reminds me, speaking of Bradley Carnell, when St. Louis was first in the West 2 years ago, right?
Yes.
And then they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
Correct.
Immediately.
I think Kansas City.
Kansas City, yeah.
Yes.
And that's the first thing I think about. Like, they were an expansion team. They played.
You gas yourself.
And then they played in the first round of the playoffs, and they just like, everybody was like, what just happened? And then the next season is abysmal. And it also makes me think of where the playoffs in baseball are happening right now. This is always I've had this conversation with a lot of people, but like the fact that when they win a series in baseball, like the division series or the Champions Series, they celebrate champagne. They're doing everything. We saw Vlad Guerrero Jr. The Yankees lose, right? Screaming, and it's like, is that a healthy way to celebrate?
So you're saying, unless it's MLS Cup, just handshakes.
Yeah.
No, but also I have to say, as a coach, you need to know who you have.
Okay.
You have, if you have a group of, very strong in mentality players that they understand and they're celebrating, but they're going to show up the next day and they're ready to go, it's different. If you know that your team is, might lose themselves a little bit in the celebration, you need to know your team. You need to know how far you can go and how can you prepare from the next game.
Right.
And a lot of times you say, listen, guys, tonight, enjoy, do what you have to do. Don't go too crazy. But tomorrow, be ready because, we're coming back to be able to win what is next for us to win.
It's like...
Do you do training the next day?
It depends.
Would you?
I would, if depending. If we played in 3 days from now, 4 days from now, then maybe come. We're going to sit down, we're going to eat, we're going to watch a little bit of a video. Maybe it's not training per se, but we get together. Let's try to communicate, maybe eat well. I want to see you eating well. So but show up.
Breathalyzers for everybody.
But show up. It depends. Maybe it's just stay home, come back, and we train the following day. You have to manage it, with knowing how your players react to those type of moments.
Right. Yeah. Then like the players that are intense, I can always think of Kobe Bryant. Remember in that press conference, he was like, "Job's not done."
Yeah.
Job's not done. And it's like, all right, dude. Well, I mean, you can celebrate a little bit.
Meanwhile, I'm like, practice.
So, you know who says it with with reality, and you know who says it with sometimes, I'm gonna go party tonight.
All right. We are MLS end of year season voters, just like you, which is weird.
Crazy.
It's weird that that's
Right.
a thing that we share.
If I were you, I'd complain that we get to do it too.
You're like devaluing the vote a little bit, but shout out to Major League Soccer. So we could use a little bit of help in some of our. So we have 3.
We mentioned newcomer of the year already.
Yes, newcomer. Who did I say? Oh, I said either Anders Dreyer and I said possibly Telesco Segovia, which I thought was also having a very good season.
My question is, Son Heung-min, should he count?
He hasn't been here that long.
He hasn't been here that long.
would
What's he got?
say-
500
I would say no.
minutes?
I would say no.
Oh, okay.
I would say no because what he has achieved is amazing, but he's done it right at the moment that he came. And you have to base all this about from beginning to end.
Mhm.
So that's why I think it shouldn't be something. That's why I also don't put Buanga as the same sentence as Surridge, Messi, because it's from the beginning. And I think you have to value that part. It's amazing what Son has done. It's amazing what Buanga is doing. It's amazing what Evander has done through the season.
Evander's incredible.
So I think you have to put into context beginning to end. And I think that has to be an important part when you make these decisions.
So last season, you wouldn't have voted for Messi for MVP because he was out for so long.
Yes, I think I would have been looking as well to other players.
Interesting.
Because Messi's, when he's put into everything because he deserves.
Yeah, of course.
But I think also how good your team does is important when you're making this decision as well, because the impact of the player needs to be impacting the team as well in the entire season. And I think all that has to be part of the decision.
Yeah, and also, look, he's much more deserved of the MVP this year than last year. I voted for him last year just because those last few games he was unreal and so impactful. And I think it was an interesting choice because we just got past the international break, but Messi didn't go, and he did both. He played in both. I don't even know that you could do that.
You could play the MLS and the Argentina marketing tour.
If you're Messi, you can do it.
Yeah.
So, but it felt like he did it just to make sure to win the Golden Boot.
I think he kind of prepared it in a smart way. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Because the amazing thing is that he's won everything.
Yeah.
Everything. But he wants to continue to win.
He wanted to make sure Buanga didn't win anything.
Yeah, he said he wants to win this for his son. I'm like, that kid's got 50
it's like the guy that says, I'm going out, goes out, but has still the key to go back into the game.
Yeah.
So he played, he watched the game against Venezuela.
Yep.
He went to play, which he played amazing. Inter Miami was very strong. They deserved the win against Atlanta, which is another conversation. And I think, then he ended up playing against Puerto Rico. So, he planned it well. And of course, it's possible if the coach and the federation is open for that, and it helps when it's everything happening in the same place.
Exactly. Well, he didn't get, the game was moved from Chicago to Miami. And it's like, all right, well, maybe.
Yeah.
He was like, hey, move the game here. I'll play.
It's moved to wherever Messi wins. It's also against Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's like, this is closer.
He's earned the respect as well to make some decisions.
I would do it too. But you think he's obviously the clear-cut choice for the Landon Donovan MVP trophy?
I think so. I think he's the one, that should win it. That's my,
Dreyer gets a shout.
I think Dreyer deserves to be in the conversation. I think he deserves to be in the voting. Like Buanga and Evander. I think those are the most relevant players that I think should be in the MVP. But for me, my point of view, I think Messi deserves it.
Okay. I think, you know what? You know how the trophy, it's the MLS logo, right? With the little stick sticking out of it. Break that stick off, send that to Dreyer. You get a piece of it,
It's like a percentage of the MVP, I guess.
You deserve something, buddy.
All right. Last one, Coach of the Year. So
It's tough.
This is a tough one, but yeah, no better
Do you
person.
have a pick in your mind?
I always kind of lean towards whoever wins the Supporter Shield. That seems to be the best coach to me. But Mikey Veras and Jesper Sorensen, I think, have very good claims to
Very
make.
much so.
But given the what Bradley Carnell did in this first season and took, I think, what was the difference in points? It was, I think it's like
I think 60. Yeah, so
like 20, almost 30, something
30,
like that.
Yeah.
That's. I mean,
It's incredible.
That's clearly the coach's impact. I mean, obviously, and picking players and tactics and all that stuff. But that Bradley Carnell seems to be is a choice for me. I don't know if that makes sense.
So I think the three coaches that you mentioned should be the ones that everybody's talking about.
Okay.
And that you have to decide why you think that, one of the three has to win it. But those are the three that need to be in the table. I agree. But then I think I will separate Mickey Varas from the other two. Because I think the other two for me, one, as you mentioned, Bradley Carnell was able to win an important, the Supporter Shield. The way he did it was impressive. But Sorensen also, he went to the final of the Conca Champions. He won the Western Conference. So I think he has something to say as well.
Gotcha.
So I wouldn't be opposed if somebody says Sorensen or Carnell, Bradley Carnell. So I think the two of them, whoever wins between the two, I think are the right coaches to be.
Okay.
That's the way.
It's almost impossible to pick. But I would say Bradley Carnell not only won Supporter Shield, but I feel like he did more with less.
So
Mikey Varas gets a little bit
my
more.
vote
Right? You get
would
more
be on
TAM.
Carnell.
Yeah.
But I'm putting also Sorensen as, you could possibly vote for him. And if
Right.
he wins, it wouldn't surprise me.
I wouldn't be upset with either of these guys winning.
Yeah.
The one, the only, Nick Rimando, everybody.
Nick.
Hey, wow, what an introduction. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys.
Brother, this is I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I apologize that we haven't done this sooner, but I will say we did meet. The first time we met in person was at the All-Star game in Los Angeles.
Okay, yeah.
We were in one of the lounges or whatever, and we introduced ourselves, and immediately we tell you who we are. We're like, oh, we're comedians, and you were like, there was an initial skepticism, like, what the hell are these guys about?
Well,
and
he
then,
said, yeah, you funny?
you funny? Yeah, tell me a joke then if you so
Yeah.
funny.
Prove it.
So I love, we had to be vetted, and I think that is very fair from a legendary American soccer player like you. But immediately, I think after that, we shared a few like jokes and stories and stuff like that, and it was like Alexis just mentioning about you being at this show and showing that support and laughing. That's how it was. It was just like, this is the homie. That was one of my favorite things about meeting you, because a lot of times they say don't meet your heroes or whatever, and then it's like I'm meeting my heroes, and then this guy's a knucklehead just like me. So I love that about Nick.
No, I remember that, man. And again, I got put on the podcast game, a little later in life, so I really wasn't on them and didn't really know much about it. I don't even go on them, now, so feel lucky, guys.
Oh no, it's an honor.
We do. We are honored.
I just don't find myself funny or interesting for some reason. But no, I remember that encounter and what a good time that was in LA. And so lucky to be on your guys' podcast. I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome, dude. And you are both those things, entertaining and enlightening, and you offer so much. I guess the first thing, if we're going to have on a U.S. soccer, U.S. men's national team former player, someone who was a superstar goalkeeper, we got to talk about the goalkeeping situation right now in the U.S. It's looking a bit more settled right now, and I think there is a lot of talent. But this is probably the wildest thing that we sort of didn't have a settled number one, or like some major competition, like two number ones going at it, a 1 and 1A, where the U.S. used to always be rich with talent when it comes to goalkeeping. What are your thoughts on that? Why do you think that is?
Yeah, like you said, it was always Brad and Casey, or Casey, or Timmy and Guzan, or I mean the list goes on, and now we're seeing Matt Freese getting a bunch of the games leading up to this World Cup, and listen, I think he's done great. I don't think Turner's done fighting for the position though. I think if you do give Turner a lick here or there, or a game here or there, he'll prove to you why he started the last World Cup. But what I've seen Freese lately, the confidence is continuing to build. Obviously, I think he'll even say it too, needs to get better with his feet. And but these games are to build that confidence, that cohesion between the back line and the goalkeeper, and finding the rhythm between those guys. And I'm just looking forward to these next games and seeing how we can continue to build.
When you say, they need to get better with their feet, we hear this all the time. They need to work on the footwork.
How do you do that as a goalkeeper?
Yeah.
What is the
Yeah.
drill? Who do you work with the
I think
midfielders? You work
Do
with
they
the
tie
center
your
backs?
hands behind your
Man,
back?
I'll tell you what, I told this story so many times. When I got drafted, I didn't play in goal, and I don't think this is the remedy, but I didn't play in goal for the first 3 months. I had to go into the head coach and say, listen, I'm a goalkeeper. You guys drafted me as a goalkeeper. Let me play in the goal. So I just got tons of reps playing with the midfielders and possession, whatever it may be. In high school, I wanted to get the edge of being with my feet. So I played all on the field during high school. Even when Ziggy recruited me to UCLA, he came out to recruit me, and I was on the field, and he's like, "Yo, what are you doing?" But for me, that was just my way to kind of stand out a little bit because I wasn't the 6'1", 6'2" goalkeeper. I had to stand out in some other ways. So, not saying that my feet were excellent or the best ever, but I had all right feet, and I think the head coaches of these teams saw that and definitely highlighted me to be on their team. But it's continued to be in possession, keeping the ball, being in situations where these teams high press and being comfortable with the ball at your feet. You're provoking these players to come and building out of the back, and you get that through games. You get that training. Obviously, you get that with the players that you play with, and understanding how they play, how they want the ball, what foot they want the ball in. So there's a lot that goes into it, and do I think they have good feet? I do. I mean, from when I started playing and was started playing professional soccer, I mean, the goalkeepers' feet were terrible back then. You see where all the goalkeepers are now. Oh, it's tremendously better. And so I think Freeze is good with his feet, but that's a place where I think both Turner and Freeze could
Sure,
get
sure.
better at.
we were sitting in the studio the other day before we started, and we just had on Arsene Wenger's first match against Sir Alex Ferguson. It was the anniversary of Wenger getting his job, and anytime the ball went anywhere near the goalkeeper, fwack, he just get it the hell out of here.
Yeah.
Don't
Why
need to
is
hear-
it near me? Why is it near my goal?
It
was
wasn't
so
part of
funny
the
to watch.
game. Yeah, I know. So
Yeah. It's something where the evolution of the game and even the evolution of the rules with goalkeeping and like where
yeah,
they used to be able to back pass and pick it up and
no,
everything like
yeah.
that. It's obviously it's forced goalkeepers to be more present, be a part
Sure.
of the game. You have to be a
Yeah.
soccer player. It's not just being a good athlete back there.
Yeah, and again, yes, it's a part of the game, but there's also you have to be smart during the game. In the end of the game, are you still trying to build out the back? Let's get everybody up. Let's hit that ball up. Let's win
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ball in the midfield. There is a part of overdoing it,
Mhm.
and understanding that. And I had a guy, obviously, Beckerman. When we have the lead and we're still trying to build, he would curse us out, be like, "What are you guys doing? Let's get the ball up. Let's keep the lead. Let's just stay tight." And we're still trying to play and breathe pit. And it's like there's a time and a place to
Right.
play out of the back and build and provoke. And there's a time to be smart and win the game,
Right.
There's a new tactic that seems to be sort of creeping up. And I think because so many teams are now playing out of the back, there's so many teams are pressing. As a goalkeeper, a lot of times the center back will pass you the ball first, or
Yeah.
you're sort of playing
Yeah.
within your box. Now this new tactic of like passing it off to the wide fullback, who's
Mhm.
maybe not all the way at the halfway line, but pretty close to it or halfway there. Do you think young Nick Rimando coming into the league now would be like, I could hit that spot on a dime? Like Ederson is the name we think of the most when we
Yeah.
think of like being able to pass on a dime as a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Where were you in that spot? Would you be like, bro,
Oh,
I got to be out there as a
I love
midfielder?
hitting that ball in that half space to that
Yeah.
wide player. That when you saw people press and just kind of getting ready to that first pass and go, and we had those half spaces open, that was my bread and butter. Oh yeah,
Yeah?
yeah. I love that spot. Hmm.
No. When you think of the U.S. just played against Ecuador, and a 1-1 draw that felt like they probably could have and maybe even should have won that game, but against definitely a big CONMEBOL opponent. After watching that game, we were pretty optimistic going forward, and it
Yeah.
immediately like rocked this like, oh man, could we actually do something at this World
Yeah.
Cup? What are your current thoughts of how the national
Yeah.
team is playing?
Yeah, I was there, man, and I was sitting right there on the offensive side of the first half, and first of all, that Ecuadorian goalkeeper, he played out of his mind. He
I know.
had some great saves. We could have easily been up 2-0 in the first half. But seeing the way we played, three in the back, the rotation through the midfield, Balogun getting, going out players and getting behind the defense and having some shots off it felt good. It felt really, really good. Like almost that, this team's, starting to come together and we're exploring a little bit more with formations and players in different spots. And the depth that we have, and obviously it wasn't a win. We want to win, and it did feel good though. It did feel good. For me, Tessman played great. Alagon, the left winger from Columbus,
Max
Arfston.
Arfston.
I thought he was fantastic.
Me
That was the
too.
first time I saw him play live, and I was like, okay, this kid really has it, man. So, and then you got Christian coming off the bench, Luna coming off the bench, and you're starting to see the firepower we have, and we're still ways away, and I think that's maybe why the American fans are so like giddy is because we're so close to the World Cup. Ultimately, these games, yeah, they're leading up. It's going to help the team and find what formation we want to play, but ultimately, Pochettino's going to get criticized for the games in the World Cup, and that's what he's going to be judged on these World Cups. So if he could get us there in 9 months, great. I think everybody's going to be happy, man. These games, we're getting too caught up and how the guys are playing, and it takes a long time to create a culture and to find your players within your system to play the way that Pochettino wants to play. So I'm optimistic, man. I was happy with that game, and hopefully tonight when they play Australia, you continue to build on that.
Yeah,
Nick,
and
I'm hoping you could settle an argument between Christian and I.
that's just what I was
Mm.
gonna ask.
Okay,
We're
this
on the
is
same
important.
page, Alexis and
Okay,
I.
so I believe that since these are friendlies, it's
Yeah.
probably good that we don't call in your written in marker, written in pen
Yeah.
first teamers for every one of these. They
Mhm.
already know how to play together. Let's go out and let this guy who just got here find depth and find players in the MLS or maybe in youth, maybe in reserve teams or maybe not in your superstar clubs, and find players that he believes he can trust in those dire moments to sort of fill in the empty spaces on the bench and fill out a roster. Christian, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but he believes these are important matches before the World Cup. We should be having our starters, and even though they're friendlies, we should be playing them as if they're meaningful matches. Where I say the result doesn't matter, what happens within the game matters. Christian, am I wrong here?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I think the result matters a little bit more to me than Alexis, but overall, I think I would like to see a more solidified team that Pochettino sees at the World Cup, and a couple of changes here and there. I
Yeah.
mean, they've been completely different rosters. There's a lot
Yeah.
of turnover, and it makes me a little bit unsettled that he doesn't know who his starting 11 is going to be.
Yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, right? There's a lot of time
You
between.
got to pick a side, Nick. What are we doing here?
Listen. There's a lot of time between, so he does have to find the depth. If something happens to a player leading up to the World
Yeah.
Cup, you need to know who you're going to trust and come in. So you do have to have those people that come in with the depth and try to find these players. At the same time,
Nah.
listen, I'm not picking sides here. You want to
We're
get
gonna
your
cut
team
this part
together.
out, Nick.
You want to get your team together and play and
Right.
know what this team can accomplish together and who you really those players are. So
How about I mean I think the main sticking point for Alexis and I is the results.
Yeah.
He's
What's
like
more
the
important?
results do not matter.
What's the
I'm
most
saying
important
that
thing?
they do.
The final
I-
score,
listen,
or
for me-
did you get the agenda right?
for me, do the results matter? If it's a yes or I don't believe they do. Leading up to we're not getting points. We're not going into the next round from these friendlies. We're not getting a trophy or hosting it up for these friendlies. We're finding our team. We wanted to make sure that these players get into our formation and how we're going to play the tactics. They understand it. That's a win for me. Is getting these players on the same page, finding our depth. Yes, the results do matter, but they will matter more so next year.
Okay. I mean the
Uh,
point I always make
What I'm
is
hearing is Alexis was right. That's what I'm
if
hearing.
so what we have this argument all the time. If the US wins 5 friendlies in a row versus losing 5 friendlies in a row, do
Yeah.
they both not matter? Right?
No,
That-
see, and that's a stretch, right? You do want a winning, confidence going into the World Cup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
No,
that's what
get
I
that part
value
of
in it. You're right.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
we're not losing 5 in a row, so we won this last, or we tied, and
Yeah.
you know, we'll be all right. We'll be all
Okay.
right.
To me, it's more important to say, like, if you say to Arfston, I want to see you get up more. I want to see you send the corners. I want to see you link up with this player. If each of the players have an agenda,
Yeah.
Tanner Tessman, I need you to control that back line. I need you to patrol in front, but I want
Yeah.
to see you link up with this in the left. I want to see
Yeah.
you, manage the space in the left. If each
Check,
of those guys
check,
are hitting their
check.
things,
Yep.
and let's say we lose 2-1 versus Ecuador, I would walk away and go, yo, if I knew what the agenda was, obviously I don't as a fan, but if I knew what that was, I'd walk away going, yo, that was a successful match, even though the fans are screaming, yo, we lost, because who cares? We had this agenda.
Yep.
We match that.
And also, we don't know who we're playing in the World Cup. So playing a South American team, maybe Tespin does well. And he's like, oh wow, he plays really good against these Latin countries and or African countries. Maybe we're going to have these players on the field because this is what we did. We don't know who we're going to go up against. So every player is going to bring a different role to the team, and I think Pochettino's kind of looking at that as well.
All right.
All right. Alexis was right. That's what
okay.
everyone behind the camera
I don't know.
agrees.
I don't
I
know
just
if that-
got 2 thumbs up from Carter, so that's our producer. I'm happy to move forward.
I want to ask
go ahead.
about your Hall of Fame induction, which happened a couple months ago. This is just a really awesome thing to see, and I think especially after getting to meet you, it's one of those things where not only were we incredibly happy and proud, even if we hadn't ever known you, but it is beyond well deserved, and it really just highlights, and it's just something really cool to see that the people that are really what I think are the sort of the foundation of American soccer as we know it, with after the introduction of Major League Soccer, and you are one of these people. And even when you look at, I remember watching the documentary that MLS did about the Miami Fusion, and you being a part of that team, and Ray Hudson and everything. And it's one of those things where like what I really started really focusing on MLS in like 2006 or 5, Freddie Adu around time. That's where I started paying attention to it. And then when you look back, you were like, man, like we wouldn't have even really had these moments with Beckham and Messi without people kind of laying the groundwork. And it's nice to see that the National Soccer Hall of Fame is highlighting that.
I appreciate that, man. Yeah, for me, I mean, it was the best honor I could get, and I didn't think it was coming. I didn't know if I was going to get it. I wasn't like the main guy. I mean, listen, my peers, I played with some great players, and on the national team, I accomplished a lot of things because I played a long time, and when I got that call, it was a truly surprise to me, and such a tremendous honor and blessing, to be amongst the name of so many great players and that I've played with and that played before me. So really cool to get that. My whole family was able to come down. One of my best friends lives down there in Dallas. I hosted a huge barbecue for me. My kids were down there, so really some memories that I'll never forget.
You mentioned you played a long time. It feels like every time we see a photo of MLS, back in the day, you're in that photo. What is going on? Why are you? First of all, you look 28. I don't know what the hell's going on. But in particular, one of my favorite memories was Ray Hudson was the manager of a stacked Miami Fusion.
Yeah.
And you're the goalkeeper in this game.
Wild.
But the rumor was that whoever lost this game was leaving MLS or would get
The
league was contracting.
Yeah.
I don't think that was true, but there was a lot of pressure in that game, no?
Yeah, I think they knew before. They knew before that Miami and Tampa were going to be done with. We were just kind of playing because we also kind of get a snippet of that rumor was possibly true too, and just kind of the locker room came together. This may be our last time together. Let's kind of go out with a bang. And but that, man, those were the days. I mean, getting drafted from UCLA and getting put on a team with those bad news bears of a team. Bishop, Ian McKinley, and Jim Rooney and Diego Sierra. I mean, the list goes. Jeff Cassar, Gark Lagerway. I mean, those are historical names within the game still.
Right.
And I didn't know what professional football was, and then going down to Miami and after the trainings, we'd go to the beach. We'd have Hooter cards that would get us free Hooters every day for lunch, and so we go there and have a beer and then come back. It was wild. It was wild, but we're also performing on the field. We're performing on the field. We're having a good time, and back then it was almost like a cool club team, like a college team came together and they were playing in the professional ranks, and then having barbecues at people's houses, going to the beach, going to Hooters, and then we had training the next day with Ray, and you could only imagine what that was. So
it's just wild to hear, like, you got these Hooters cards with your $9,000 a year salary, like
right. Yeah,
we're gonna need 3 orders to go.
I scored. I mean, back the no state tax in Florida, and making $24,000 a year, and I was like, a free meal, I'm there,
Yeah,
man.
brother.
Who got you a free Hooters card? And
The
did you have
whole
to do
team,
something
the
for
whole
it?
team had
It was
them.
like a sponsor, like maybe a team sponsor.
The whole team, everybody on the player had them. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
God, how much money do you think you racked up in Hooters?
I didn't. I got it for free.
No,
It
no.
was
If
free.
you,
No,
if
how
you
much
would
you
have,
spent?
how much you think you would have spent?
Bro. Man, I don't know. I don't even know what a burger or whatever sells for anymore. A lot though. A lot for
Yeah?
sure. We were there all of me, Dunny, Beckerman. Yeah, we were there all the time.
You think you would have cleared $20K in a year? at
Nah.
Hooters?
Okay.
We had Miami subs down there too, man.
Yeah.
Miami subs? You guys
Let's
were eating at
go.
all the chains. How are you pros? How do you have the same diet as a lacrosse player at a college and living in a frat house and be a pro?
I know. Yeah.
Man, obviously, things are a little bit different now with Inter Miami versus.
Yeah,
the
now they
Miami
check the
Fusion.
player's weight.
Yeah.
When you see even the fact that a team is back in Miami, I mean, obviously Messi and all these like superstars. It's a different landscape from when you were there. But just even seeing that there is an MLS team back there. I mean, what were your memories of like the supporters and even when the team was done and moved and you got taken in the expansion job to DC United?
Miami holds a special part of my life because that's where I initially got the start of my career, right? Like, Jeff Cassar got hurt, Lagerwey got hurt, and I was the next in line. And so got my first start and then held it on ever since. And the fans always had my back. So I have so much love for those fans down there in Miami and rewind or fast forward to today and seeing what they've built down there, the money they're spending on these players and arguably the best player in the world and seeing, them winning games and the supporters, still went up every single week. It's great to see, man. It really is. And they're getting a new stadium as well, right?
Yeah,
They're building a new
next
stadium
year.
as well.
Have you been back?
I haven't.
See,
been
I mean,
able to.
if Inter Miami not doing like a
They're
honoring
gonna have fusion night. where they wear
night,
fusion
like
kits.
this
They
is
should.
come
They
out.
should. Yeah, they
that's
should.
an easy thing to do. It should be done.
I know there was something organized maybe a couple years ago where some one-off person organized like a meet and greet and people
Yeah,
come
yeah.
down and hang out at the bar and stuff. But nothing through Inter Miami. That'd be cool. I think that'd
All
be
right,
cool for sure.
we'll talk to David Beckham.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Here's-
Nick. We got-
I want to ask this because I think that you mentioned like some of these big names. A lot of folks like Garth Lagerwey, the first thought would be he's an executive. You forget that these guys played. Every once in a while, we'll see videos and be like, is that Greg Berhalter out there? Like you forget these guys had a playing career and you forget how talented they were when American players didn't have a chance to play in Europe or weren't looked at it. From your career, who's one guy on the pitch that you were like, damn, every time they touch the ball, that you're shocked. Like had Americans had a chance in Europe, would have gone to the highest heights. Who's like the most talented player you ever
the
played
one
with?
that present that really comes to mind that didn't go to Europe, but I think could have flourished, Nagby, easily. Nagby would have went over there, any team. This guy was so smooth with the ball, patient. The way he scanned the field and collected the ball and broke lines, he was by far one of the best players I've ever played with.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't think I've ever seen Donaldson Ivey lose the ball. I mean, and when watching him play against my team or something, and I'll just be like, why doesn't this guy make a mistake ever?
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, and smiling the whole time.
Sure.
Smiling the whole time. Just the humblest guy, and man, so much respect for him, and just a little shout out to him, man. And his
I
career.
know
He's
he
been great.
announced his retirement at the end of the season, which is
For
yeah.
sure.
I have because we haven't spoken about Donaldson Ivey with anybody. I think he made a conscious choice. He's like, I don't want to play for the national team anymore when he could have easily gotten way more call ups. What did you think of that decision? Because is it I'm not trying to influence your opinion. I'm like,
No, I
it's
think-
kinda, you don't see it often.
Yeah, I think everybody has their own path and vision, and I don't know the whole story around it. I want to say it's more so with being around for his family, and you can't doubt that. The guy wants to raise a family, and listen, he got his due here in MLS. He's got his his bag, and
Yeah.
he played, and he he wore his badge, and he raised the trophies everywhere he went. So you can't knock the guy's decision. It's not like he didn't get better or he didn't produce wherever he was. And
Right.
for me, I would always answer that call. I'll be in camp. That was just the way I was brought up, and that was my path, and that's what I wanted to do. And but other people have other desires and interests and stuff on their plate that they want to cater to, and
Yeah,
that was
that's
his.
100%. But yeah, Darlington came to the studio once and he did the show alongside Aiden Mars, and both of them couldn't have been like cooler dudes.
Yeah.
Incredibly
Yeah.
humble.
Yeah.
He's a
No.
great guy. I think back to when he got signed by Atlanta. They paid, I think, over $1 million in
Yeah,
GAM
from
or-
Portland,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
And then they sent the private jet for him. He
Mm.
came off the private jet looking like this was too much. I would have flown coach.
Why all this?
Why
All
are we
the
doing all
bells
this?
and whistles.
Where's everybody else? I charged myself $35 for my carry-on, just so everybody knows.
Yeah.
So speaking of Atlanta,
yeah.
go for it.
No, that was when the league started to change, right? People
Sure.
started to spend that money and getting these trading and GAM and TAM and everything else they're doing now. But you're starting to see big mutts and American players getting $1 million. And you're like, what? When Josie came back and Michael Bradley came back, and I was like, wow, we're starting to go. We're
Yeah.
Nick
starting
was
to
like,
go,
$1
so-
million and a Hooters card? This is crazy. This should be illegal.
This is too much.
Yeah,
Are they
yeah,
getting
yeah.
Hooters cards under the table? Somebody better look into this.
Yeah. The old Kawhi Leonard treatment.
Speaking of Atlanta, the goalkeeper for Atlanta United is Brad Guzan,
Goose.
and he just
Yeah.
announced his retirement just a couple hours before we started chatting. Can you talk about Brad Guzan's your memories with him and being on the national team together? And obviously incredible career, because we saw what he did in England, and been a very obviously formative goalkeeper in MLS. Also been a part of, like, to me, I love Brad Guzan, but I also love he's also been part of, like, comical moments in MLS where getting stuck in the net with Luis Suarez
Sure.
pushing him. Also, he is the best at when a ball is deflected and he can't make a move. He just collapses. You know how the frozen Guzan collapse? They're so funny. So
Yeah.
I love
yeah.
everything about him.
No, Goose, we call him the polar bear, but this guy is one of a kind, man. A tremendous teammate. Obviously played a long term a career, Aston Villa, some great years there. Started with Chivas, another goalkeeper that started with hair that doesn't have any now. But
He should call Landon Donovan. He could get that patched up for only $5,000.
He sorted that out.
yeah. A family man, somebody that will always get back to you. And we were still on a text line now, and just so happy for him through his career, what he accomplished, and excited to see what's in the future for him.
Do you guys have like a chat, like a group chat of all goalkeepers or something like that? Or no?
Me too, me and Brad. Yeah.
Okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
that's
You gotta
great.
wipe the dust out of it here and there, but
Yeah.
but
No, that's
it's there.
awesome.
The way y'all must be talking in there must be amazing, bro. I
Bro,
wish I was in there.
Just
Let me just get a
look.
peek.
Let me just scroll a couple scrolls.
Yeah. I promise I won't take no screen caps. You mentioned a couple times the modern era and this current era and how much money they're making. Do you ever think to yourself, bro, if I was coming out of college today, what would
Yeah.
Nick Rimando get on that open market?
Every day since I retired, man. I'm just still waiting for like a refund check or something, man.
A little rebate, an MLS
A little-
rebate.
Yeah,
You should get
yeah.
GAM in retro. You know,
There you
retro grade
go.
GAM,
Yeah,
dog.
talk to
What's that?
Beckham about that too.
Yeah, dog, and that little MLS tax credit.
Yeah. At least let me get a Chipotle card. You feel me?
Yeah, I did have one of those at Salt Lake.
Oh my God. This guy's eating good. I ain't mad at how much y'all made before anymore.
So funny. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's it's beautiful to see, and I always think about, I mentioned, being in the Hall of Fame and the founding of this league and being a part of that beginning. I mean, you talk about when you were at Miami and just introducing, being introduced to what professional football really is. I mean, in that moment, I mean, your career started off a little odd, right? Where you obviously you started, you get all, you play a lot of games for Miami. You end up in DC. You're fighting for a position again.
Yeah.
It took a couple years for you to become the guy,
Yeah.
but it's in
Yeah.
my head, Nick Rimando has always been the guy. But those first few years, I mean, what was the transition to really becoming that lockdown starter and
Yeah,
being
you
that staple?
you really find who you are as a player, but more importantly as a person. Those are rough times. I did my ACL at Giant Stadium. You're fighting to get your position back at DC United when you lose it, and there's a coaching change, and you're trying to keep your spot in Miami when the other two goalkeepers come back from injury, and there's a lot of things that go on in careers and that a lot of people don't know about it, and so it's tough. But those are what build you up as a person and as a player and as a locker room guy. When these things happen down the road, how do you handle this? How do you handle yourself? What do your teammates? So it was rough. It was rough for sure. And again, like I said, I didn't know what I was coming into when I got drafted and this was a league that was trying to, we're trying to survive. This league was
Right.
built, I mean, we're practicing in, high schools and parks with dogs running around tra- you know, transportation. We're in middle seats and sitting next to mom and pop, and that our kids are going down to a soccer tournament in Florida, and they have better seats than us, and it's the transformation of what this league was and what it is now. I mean, it's so great to see. It really is, but it does, put a little feather in my hat that I was around for those days and I stuck through it and I helped build this league and what it is today.
Right.
What do you think about the next generation? Like a lot of times we talk about players when they're retiring and how do you want to give back to the sport that gave you so much? Have you
Yeah.
have you put any mind to it? You think
Yeah,
Nick
I mean,
Rimando goalkeeping
for me,
coach?
well, that's the thing, man. I did take a year off, and that was when I retired 2019. COVID was there, so I did have a year to kind of put my feet up, relax, and think about the things I wanted to do next. And listen, there's a lot, a lot of opportunities. There's some MLS clubs calling, uh, and I just wanted to relax, be with my kids, and it did give me a time to reflect on what I've done and where I want to be. And I missed the game, man. I did, and so that's when Real Salt Lake. That was my first opportunity, to kind of put my foot in this coaching gig and see if I liked it. And started with the academy. Now I'm with the MLS Next Pro, and really like it, man. I really like it, and able to give back. My experiences, my knowledge to these kids, and also with a foundation, Rise Athletics Foundation, we make soccer more accessible in the communities, and then we're opening up our third street soccer court. Yeah, third street soccer court on this Friday in less than a year. So it's been really cool to have the community come together at RSL and the Royals and make these community street courts a thing. So really happy about that.
That's
It's a
awesome.
beautiful
Yeah.
thing. We talked a little bit up front about
Mhm.
the roast and the event that happened in Salt Lake. That was my first time in Salt Lake.
Yeah.
You're originally from California. I don't know how much time you spent in Salt Lake growing up. I don't know if that's where you summered, but for me, it was a bit of a culture shock.
Yeah.
Salt Lake is a little different. What was the first culture shock moment that you can remember from Salt Lake? Because it's a little different out there.
Yeah. Well, for me, it was when I bought my house and I couldn't take my shirt off to mow the yard. I didn't want all the neighbors to see that I had tattoos, and so I was like,
Ah.
had long sleeves on, and I wanted to be this like friendly neighbor that just moved in, plays for ourselves, have a good name, and man, it was summer, and I was still in long sleeve shirts mowing my yard in the front yard in 2007, and you had to have. Also, you had to have what were they called? Like almost like passports to get into any bar you wanted to passes. Um, but that's all gone now. It's grown a lot. I would hate to see you back in 2007 here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have got.
It wouldn't have gone well. You would have left right away. But
Just
Salt Lake
my
City-
mouth would have got me in trouble very quickly. I would have
I
at
love-
the airport. I think I
Yeah.
would have
I
gotten
also love
told,
just a Nick
"Go back."
Rimando wanted to be just like a hot, sexy dad mowing his lawn outside in Utah.
I also
He's
think
like,
the
"Why
neighbors
you-"
were like, "Who's that guy in a suit mowing his lawn?"
No, but my neighbors are dope, man. They all welcome me, and it's just that perception that you think everybody has on you, or if you're not, a certain religion, and It's not the case. Everybody's here is open arms to me and the fans and the community, and so I've got it good here.
No,
That's awesome.
I've gone to Salt Lake. I went. I snowboard, so I went to Park
Mhm.
City and I hung out with RSL supporters in right before the season started, maybe like in 2018 or 19 or something like that.
Okay.
And they were awesome, super incredibly
Yeah.
welcoming, great
Yeah, yeah,
supporters.
yeah.
I do want to ask one thing. We have a little game that we're gonna play later
Oh,
in just a
uh-huh.
second, but I want to ask about penalties because
Yeah.
you are someone that even to this day, I know you were talking about you're not really on the podcast game.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about Nick Rimando in every podcast because especially Landon was talking about the goalkeeper he hated facing the most in penalties, and
I've
it was
someone passed that on to me.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it was
yeah.
you.
Someone
But your
passed
name
that on
comes
to
up
me.
a lot as far as
Mhm.
a penalty stopper.
Mhm.
I liked Landon's take because I just never really thought of this, but he was talking about how, a lot of times people think that the more penalties you take, the better you become at it. But in
Mhm.
reality, you actually get worse because the goalkeepers start to figure out some patterns and
Sure.
things like that. So
Sure.
when your mentality, your perspective as far as being such a good penalty
Yeah.
stopper, what was your
Yeah.
philosophy?
Well, yeah, for me, after I retired, I did a little article with Athletic and kind of let it out. But an old teammate of mine, you remember Ryan Nelson, played for DC United
Yeah.
and
Yeah, yeah.
Tottenham, and his goalkeeper on New Zealand national team, he used to watch where they put the ball down with their hands, and so when he put the ball down, psychologically, you didn't know that you were pointing the ball where you're going to go. So if you went
Ah,
like this and pointed to my left,
yeah,
I would get a
yeah.
jump and go to my left. And listen, it was not 100%, but it was definitely like 85%
Wow.
that they went that same way. And yeah, that's how I got, that name of being one of the best in PKs is just kind of going through that game and understanding what, if they put the ball down, I didn't see it, I would go over there and kick it, make sure I saw the way they put it down or
Yeah, yeah. Do that
yeah,
again. Do that
Get
again.
yeah,
this
do
out of
that
the way,
again,
bro.
and so I
Right.
made
You tell the
sure
ref,
and
ref, look how he put the balls down on the spot. Make him do it
100%.
again.
100%. And so that was kind of my jump on it. And now I mean, back then there wasn't like video and tons of like
Right,
scout
right.
and stuff. And so it helped me out a lot. Nowadays, they could determine where they're going to put the ball and where and the percentages left and right and how high and um, but I also think that kind of disrupts a goalkeeper. That's too much information. I always tell my goalkeepers, listen, this is what I do. You do what you want to do. But if you have a gut feeling, always go with your gut. Oh, I would never, never, never say anything if that guy puts that ball down and you have a hunch that he's going to the left and you go to the left and he goes, great, man. Like
Right,
that's
right.
like you got to support these goalkeepers and you just got to give them the experience that you have and hopefully, they gain some knowledge from that.
Okay. All
So
right.
interesting. So Christian mentioned it. We have a game we like to play on this show. It's called Pro Rel. So pro if you agree, rel if you disagree. You do not have to explain your stance.
You're
Okay,
free
just
to.
simply-
You're free to. You don't have to.
Yeah, yeah. Please do if you like.
Pro-
We're gonna make a
Pro,
statement.
if I'm with it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Rel if
Rel.
I'm not. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just that's it. So we'll make statements. You say whether you agree or don't. Chris, you want to go first?
Yes. Okay. First one, pro or rel. Refs calling keepers stepping off the line during penalties is good for the game.
Rel.
Okay. Really?
You want that angle.
Yeah. Yeah.
You want to cut
Yeah,
that
yeah.
off.
Well, that's a part of it, right? You're trying to jump and like get like a good push, and like they already have the advantage, right? I think they should score from the spot every single time, and so what's a little bit to give to the goalkeeper, you know?
Okay. Okay. That's fair.
Okay.
All right.
All right. This is the most talented U.S. men's national team pool of all time.
Pro.
Wow.
Love it. Okay.
Okay.
I love it here. All right. How about this? Tall goalkeepers are better than short goalkeepers.
Rel.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Is it just the lower shots? The
I
along the
gotta
ground
give
shots?
my short goalkeeper some
Yeah.
love, man. You know.
Jorge
Bro.
Campos is actually knocking on the door right now, bro.
Thibaut Courtois is like, what? What are you talking about? All right.
All right. This is from a goalkeeper's perspective, but the player that's fouled for the penalty should have to take the penalty.
Oh, it's so funny because on coaching, I make sure that they don't take the penalty. Yeah, I don't want them taking it because I want the guy that got fouled not having to deal with the penalty shot and and trying to the pressures of scoring and if he got hurt during it. So
Right.
I would say as a goal, you said as a what?
As a goalkeeper, from
Then
your
pro.
perspective.
Then
Yeah.
pro. Yeah.
You're like, yo,
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
dude that's hobbling right now, make him take it.
Come here.
The
The
one
guy seeing the birds
the
above
guy-
his
Yeah,
head,
yeah.
make that guy take it.
collarbone sticking out. Why, you want to take it? You scared?
Oh, you gotta get stretchered off the field. Well, then I guess there's no penalty. Let's move on.
Okay, my last one. The early players who built MLS deserve much more respect.
Pro.
Okay.
What a wow! What a
Bro.
beach ball, Christian.
Nah, man, we gotta
Guys
give
named Nick are really cool. Pro
Yeah.
or rel.
the founding fathers,
Throwing
bro.
up that alley oop. There you go.
Yeah, for real. All right, this is my last one. There is no talent to long goal kicks. They're barely 50-50, and the game is better with keepers playing out of the back.
There's no talent to goal kicks.
To long goal kicks.
To long
They're
goal
barely
kicks.
50-50, and the game is better when the keepers play out of the back.
Pro.
Whoa.
Oh,
Interesting. I did
I'm-
not expect that.
I didn't
Yeah.
think you and I would be on the same page across the board.
Yeah.
Where's my Hooters card?
You know what?
I'm
Next
dying
time,
out here.
next time we all link up, we know where we're meeting. All right? Hooters. I've never been to a Hooters, so I'm excited.
You haven't?
I've never have.
Oh, just don't eat the beans. That's the only rule. I've gotten very sick on those damn refried beans.
Well, Nick Rimando, this has been
Mm.
an absolute honor, bro. And again, if you ever want to come back to the show, you're always welcome. If you're ever in New York, don't hesitate to hit us up. But yeah, dude, I mean, I don't even know. Again, a reminder: Rise Athletics. You have a pitch opening this Friday. You said.
Yep.
So this is coming out on Thursday. So tomorrow, if you're listening to this, and you're in Salt Lake City, go show some support. Where's the pitch going to be at?
Central Night, Salt Lake City, right there at the Mead underpass. So,
Okay. I
yeah,
mean, we
people
all
will know. People will know.
We all been there. We all know the
Yeah.
Mead underpass.
Go
So
get your swig, dirty Sprite, and go down there and play some footy, bro.
yeah, you guys. I mean, Nick, you're on Instagram, I think.
Yeah.
You post on there, so make sure
Yep.
you follow Nick Rimando on IG. Nick, do you have a nickname? Well, I feel like. Have you ever had
Nah.
one?
I mean, they used to call me the Wall of the Wasatch here. Nick is usually what I go by,
Alright.
and Dad. There you
Dad,
go.
all right.
Dad.
Can I
Poppy.
call you Dad, dude?
We can- I mean, you're gonna be healing a lot of childhood trauma if you let him call you that.
Trauma gone.
Nick Rimando, absolute pleasure, brother. Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right, welcome back to the show.
Shout
Thank
out
you.
to Nick Rimando.
Thank you, Nick Rimando, of course. All right, so this is one of my favorite segments that we do. It's one of my favorite segments that we do on the show. It's called Rápido Reaction, and if it's going to be in Spanish, we got to bring in my guy,
Exactly.
El Venezolano.
Roll them R's.
Right. So what we're going to do is Carter, our producer, is going to give us a couple topics. We have 90 seconds to say whatever we want in it. You can be as wild and crazy as you want, or I feel like you're going to take a very smart approach and not do that. But
We got chaperones here.
yeah. But do whatever it is that is in your heart. So all three of us jump in 90 seconds. We can have a quick conversation on it. This is the way we sort of fill in the blanks on the stuff we don't get to talk about on the show.
All right, Carter.
Carter, what do you got for us?
All right, the first one. Cape Verde qualifies for their first ever World Cup. What reactions, thoughts, feelings?
This is incredible. Tiny island.
Tiny Island. I forgot what was the population number. It's incredibly low for
Yeah.
them to qualify. I mean, and seeing the scenes and celebrating. This is one of those where it kind of feels like, oh, they expanded the World Cup, and this is the
Population
nice
is
story.
524,000.
524,000. Jeez, their cities.
And we
amazing.
missed it in 2018.
Yeah. It's crazy. But also, there's a lot more countries. And this is why I say if it's going to be called the World Cup, the whole world should be involved.
It should be involved 100%.
Really?
Yeah, I think so. And,
Yeah.
and I think, they have quality players. Remember they are
Couple
a
MLS guys.
Portuguese speaking
Yeah.
country.
Is it all the Portuguese guys that couldn't get into the Portugal squad that are saying, hey, I'm Cape Verde?
You're talking about Suriname as well,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Holland. So I think it's great that this type of nations are able to qualify to the World Cup. It makes it more fun, I think, because it shows That doesn't matter how many people you have in your country. It's about making the step and qualifying, and being competitive.
I
agree.
They not only did they just like qualify, they were like in first in qualify in their group, pretty much throughout the whole
also,
qualifying.
Gorgeous people. I don't know if you know this. They're an island. A lot of Dutch sailors would come in, and a lot of Portuguese sailors would come in.
For
the women there must have been beautiful.
The audio listeners, Alexis did the quote unquote sailors.
Yeah. Let's just say they left a little behind. Anyway,
next
topic number 2.
All right, Gio. Even with the expanded group here for the World Cup, Venezuela was not able to qualify. Reaction to that?
Do you have anything to drink? No, listen, it was very disappointing. It was a day of, it just hit to all of us. Whenever being part of the national team, I played many games. We thought that this was our time.
Sure.
Coming to United States, a moment in which it was easier for us to qualify because two more spots or something. Qualified. The 7 you can go to a playoff. And in that day we play at home. Everything was perfect for us to be able to qualify, and then we lose in the way we lost against Colombia, and then Bolivia did everything possible in Alto to be able to qualify to the playoff, and it was I think one of the most difficult days in Venezuelan history.
That's crazy. Should Bolivia be allowed to play even higher than the original
Listen,
stadium?
I play in La Paz, and it's insanely difficult. I can believe how you're going to play in Alto, which is higher.
How'd you find this?
It's impossible. It's very difficult.
Venezuela needs to build the stadium in the sky.
I can't wait till Venezuela do qualify. It's gonna be
a great day.
It's gonna be incredible.
Carter, what else you got for us?
All right, next one here. Sergio Busquets and Jordi Alba announced their retirement at the end of the season. Just eulogizing, a little bit, giving us your thoughts on a great career for both of them.
Okay.
For me, I'm gonna say Sergio Busquets is the type of person that, like, if a young child says they want to learn how to play the game or you want to be a pro, watch every highlight of Sergio Busquets. Because it doesn't matter if you run fast. It doesn't matter if you're tall. It doesn't matter who you are. If you can do what Busquets does, you will have a very long career. So for him to be able to play around young Americans and for them to be able to learn just a little techniques from him was probably going to make every American midfielder that comes out of Miami better.
I agree 100% with you because he was amazing through the entire career. His understanding of soccer in his mind, the way he sees it, his vision, he's ahead of everybody. And not only ahead of everybody, technically, he can execute every little thing quicker than he thought to be able to make it faster than anybody else. And in the fact that he had all the success and we had a time to see him play here in MLS, and he's done everything right. He's retiring at the right moment, to be able to just be one of the best players to play the game in the history.
And to clear cap space so that Inter Miami can sign whoever they want.
Neymar. But
He's helping them out a little
was
bit.
it Paul Scholes who said if you watch the whole game, you'll miss Busquets, but if you watch Busquets, you'll see the whole game.
Exactly.
And that's the perfect statement.
The one thing I'll add is with Alba and Busquets. The one thing every time these big players come to MLS, I'm like, I want them. They're going to change everything, and now Americans are going to be really into it. But I think there's a gap between how much like the talent that they bring and how much like American soccer fans that maybe not too locked in can appreciate what they do for Alba, and they are really that amazing, and it's like hard to really capture that appreciation. But maybe it's just
little by little.
And that is a part that we need to continue to grow to understand how good those two players are.
Okay, next up, Carter.
All right, Landon Donovan's got a new hairpiece. Thoughts on that?
Okay. So we had to bring this up because Landon Donovan was on the show a couple of weeks ago. Like Alexis he asked him a couple of weeks ago, hey, have you ever thought about going to Turkey and getting some work done or whatever? It was
like, buddy.
He answered the question. So and he has been transparent in like, hey, this is what I'm going to try to do. I want to get hair. But I mean, you can see the comments. He's like, hey, let me know what you think. He's open to, I think, some critique. We thought, hey, man, let it go, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think you need this at all. But what do you think when you
got
saw it?
that Jason Statham thing? You look good with short cropped hair.
Thank you. But I think he's a very good player. So
Yeah, that is
he
true.
was he's legend.
Yeah.
The MVP trophy is named after him.
yeah.
No, listen, this is one thing that a lot of people are going to do now. I've seen,
Sure,
I know
sure.
I have friends and, some look better than others,
Right.
and it's not always perfect, so I think it depends on, if it makes you happy, then it's a good thing. But,
Sure.
in this case, I don't know.
It's
Yeah, I think some look better than others is a good way to
Exactly.
put it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh my God, there's a squirrel in it. I thought there was something wrong
And we gotta
happening.
give time to,
Sure,
to see where
Well,
it's
you know
going to
what?
end up.
Maybe he tries something different. Maybe he goes for like the little tattoos that look like you have like,
it's a thing where if there's a bias on men, right? If women change their hair and do something, we're like, hey, this is great. A
there's
man
nothing
does
wrong.
it. A
There's
man does it.
nothing
We're
wrong
like,
to
hey,
do it.
buddy,
All
what are you
right.
trying to do? Who you trying
let's
to?
it's not comparable to extensions in their hair. This is
It's a
a little
saying.
ridiculous.
Exactly.
So, all right, last one. What do we got?
All right. Haji Wright scored a brace for the USMNT against Australia. He's really come into his own at Coventry City as well. Thoughts on where he belongs in the USMNT as we come to the World Cup?
Someone here coached him.
Yeah, I did. It was a pleasure to have him on the New York Cosmos. He was a young player, right about to go to Germany, and you could tell that he had something special. But at that particular time, he needed to continue to grow, to learn different things. I think he did with us. I think he played with Cosmos B, and he played then with the first team, and then he went to Germany. He's done a great amount of years of developing, and we see the result. And I think what he achieved with the national team is great because we're trying to figure out who's going to be the center forward for the World Cup. Who's that guy? And he showed up at the right moment to be able to show maybe I'm the guy to be able to be. And for someone that coached him, for me, it's great to see him succeeding.
Yeah, both goals against Australia were fantastic.
Incredible.
I mean, the
Just
first
a
one,
toe poke kind of outside of the foot.
yeah, and then the
Tereshma.
cutback, the cutback, and just sat the Australian defender. And yeah, it was just it'll be a better problem to have two strikers.
That's
that
what you want.
are in form.
Yeah. Where do you put him? And if you had to rank the number 9s right now for the
So
US.
I have to be honest. I just it's difficult because I don't see one being better than another.
So tough.
So it's tough, So I think he put himself at this particular moment as one of the possible, contenders because I don't think that it's clear who is right now in the mind of Pochettino, the right guy that's going to be there, and he put himself in a good situation.
Sure. All right. You love to see it. All
That's
right.
political answer. I like that.
That is Rápido Reactions. Gio Savarese, thank you so much. You are the first guest that has ever participated in that. So thank you so much.
And in the intro joke.
Exactly.
Listen to the audience.
No,
A pleasure.
You're the third Cooligan, brother. Thank you for joining us. All right, everybody, make sure. So MLS Decision Day is this Saturday. Obviously, we're gonna be tuning in, watching all our teams. Gio Savarese, obviously MLS 360 and
course.
English, Spanish.
Decision Day,
Decision
amazing.
Day, La Previa,
La previa,
todo.
Resumen.
Todo.
Almuerzo a las 7.
Yeah. Aprieta el botón and he's there.
So tune in on Apple TV. Gio Savarese, thank you so much for joining us.
A pleasure.
As always, make sure you follow us on all socials at Soccer Cooligans. Hit like on this video if you're watching on YouTube. Subscribe as well. And we'll be back on Monday with a brand new episode to talk about all the chaos that was Decision Day.
Yeah.
So we'll be doing that. And actually, we're going to be joined by Matt Doyle of MLS. So he's going to be coming through for that. So we'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend, everybody. Gio Savarese. And also Nick Rimando. Shout out to Nick Rimando. Thank you again for joining us on the show. All right. We'll see you next week. Take care. I hope all your teams lose. Take care, everybody.
Love you guys. Yeah, I mean, look, Haji Wright's had an incredible start. Maybe, hopefully, he gets a chance to be the starter. And hopefully, you guys click on the video that's over my head right now because it's a great topic we talked about Pochettino and the job he's doing.
Subscribe to the Cooligan and hit on my fan.
Yeah. Yeah. Do exactly what he just said.
Do exactly that. Nailed it.